Howdy, Michael, the Mercedes guy here, and we're going to do a little segment on a purchase I made at the Rudi Klein auction a while back. There were several convertibles sold for $20,000 or so, and those cars were smashed to heck. This one is straight. I got it pretty cheap because, of course, it's ugly. It had no soft top frame, and the floors are really rusty right through to the ground. Similar with the trunk back here. Even the sumps are very rusty. But I had an extra soft top frame. I've sat on it. As you can see, it doesn't line up yet because the car platform is so rusty that the car is actually slightly like so. However, I've got this coupe over here that has a very solid floor pan. The pans are nice and solid, and I poked at that with an ice pick all over. And it has pretty decent sumps in the back, and a nice trunk floor that's solid. As you can see, usually they're rusted out in this area. So the main value of this body, of course, is this header assembly here that's a true convertible, and the well for the soft top. So I think the best bet for somebody, I'm going to sell this as a project. So the best bet for somebody is to actually put this soft top well on that body and cut the top off. Now note that this has a sunroof, so you'll end up with a sunroof top that you can put on a coupe that doesn't have a sunroof, so there's value there. And I'm going to come up as the sale a rear seat bottom. I don't have a true convertible back. They're slightly different on a convertible from a coupe, but I'll have the coupe rear cushion that can be cut down. Door panels, nice front seats that have nice leather, and chrome, the early seats that have the chrome hinge and release. I've got an entire dash, although I may be missing an instrument or two, but I have wood, and I even have the early convertible A-pillar wood that goes up and across. They're different than a coupe. They're much slender. I have a set of those, go with the sale. And I've got a nice center tray. This is a floor shift standard, so that's a plus. I'm not sure if I have a windshield or not, but if I do, I'll come up with one. As you notice, this car does have the rear quarter windows. A door glass, I'll come up with the door glass for the driver's door. I'll come up with all the fasteners, a whole bucket of fasteners. I've got some funky tail lights. I've got a rear bumper that needs plating, but it's a rear bumper. I do not have the rear deck lid. Now, actually, I've seen deck lids made out of coupe deck lids. I mean, I should say convertible deck lids, made from coupe deck lids. The coupe deck lid is about 4 inches further up. They actually can cut down the coupe to fit a convertible. So there's the deck lid right there. I've got rocker trim, I got door handles, I've got all the trim, the chrome trim around here. I do not have these pieces around the back, but they're available. I've already come up with this fender. It's dented in, but it's pretty solid. I got a front bumper, needs replating, but it's a complete bumper. I've got headlights. And any parts that I come up with for doing this project, I'll go through my parts and pick out the best ones. I got a nice grill, headlights. I actually stuck a battery in this and it fired up. I didn't run it for more than about 10 seconds, but it seems like a good engine, but it is a complete engine. And this is the, like I said, standard transmission, so it's got the early type clutch master up here on the firewall instead of under the dash. This is a 220 SE. Now the weird thing about this car, I don't have a title to it. I do have a title to this coupe. I figured I could get a title for this convertible, just do a lien process using the number off the frame. All of the 111, 110, 108, there's a number stamped right in this area. It's hard to see on this one that's right up here, actually. And I figured I'd use that number and get a convertible title. But I'm looking at it, it's a sedan VIN number. So I'm looking at this car closely, and I can tell that somebody welded on a new nose on this car. These frame rails are the same on a sedan as a convertible, and they took one off a sedan and welded on the nose. So, this number is for a sedan. So, the sale is going to be with a coupe title. So, just so you know, I always be up front with everything I'm selling. I'll have a windshield wiper motor and the windshield wiper linkage and wiper arms, and I'll try to come up with everything I can think of, including the fasteners, which is important. You want those. I've got air cleaner top. I parted out years ago in the 90s. I probably parted out 50 coupes. So I have a vast stock of parts we'll show a picture of. And I also have a better hood that's straight and not ugly like this one. This has some rot in this front frame member. And the coupe over here is missing that front frame member. So I have one right here, a nice solid one. And I may even have one that's a little more complete with more metal up here, because I can see that is missing a little bit. But there's a nice solid one and a correct one. So anyway, this is a great project. What happens nowadays is that these cars get shipped to Europe or Africa or even New Zealand or East Asia, where there's cheap labor, and they get made into a beautiful car again. So using this shell and converting it to a convertible, it's done often. A lot of people have converted their coupes to convertibles. The important parts, of course, are the soft top frame and the soft top well, which I have. However, there is a difference between the floor pan on a convertible and a coupe. It's actually not the floor pans per se, but the rockers on a convertible are made from slightly thicker steel, and the tunnel on a convertible is reinforced underneath. In other words, when you look at the drive line on a convertible, you can't see sections of it because there are plates going across the bottom of the tunnel, and there's a huge plate underneath the transmission that bolts to each side of the hump. So that will be a difference when you do a conversion from a coupe to a convertible. However, the important part to have a good outcome is to have a solid car, which this coupe is. So it's the start of a satisfactory conversion. Now I'll show you some of my parts. I'll show you my 111 coupe convertible parts room. This is my 111 room. I've got coupe door and quarter upholstery panels. I've got seats, all kinds of chrome. I have some tail lights for coupes, but they aren't very good, but the chrome can be reused. And then, of course, I have other coupe parts as well, and that go with that sale. They'll be picked parts from this room. Okay, this is another room that I have 111 coupe parts in that I will pick parts from for the project, the convertible project car out there. And basically the sale will be about 99% of the needed parts. I don't have the actual soft top canvas, but I do have most all other items that are necessary to make it a complete car once done.